Hi guys, Ryu here. Let's talk about this handle now, okay? By the way, I'm just gonna remind you again, remember to keep saving your files every time we finished one of these chapters, because it's good to have backups, you know. Occasionally what I do is, for example, right, let's take an example. This bevel is baked, right, here. This would be extremely difficult to impossible to fix without add-ons, okay? If I wanted to revert to, I'll probably have to remove all this bevel along on the bottom edge, etc. So if I, for example, wanted to get rid of this shape, I would simply bring an earlier save. Easy. So I usually keep a lot of saves. It saves me a lot of headache. Anyway, let's talk about this handle, right? So what I want to do is create some kind of a, some kind of a wrapping here. And how would we run this? Maybe from here, something like this, or maybe from here, going like this. We need to more or less look at the lines, because we will be following the edges more or less. Not entirely, but, more or less. So if I grab another edge here, it will slightly change. You see that pinching? That's why, gotta be really careful with this sub-D business. So what we're gonna do is, let's try if we can actually move this a little bit here closer, okay? So let's move this a little bit closer and see if it's gonna work for us, okay? So something like this, and this would actually work, I think, here on this side. And we select all these. In fact, you know what? We're gonna skip this one. And we're gonna select just these ones, okay? We can mirror it later to the other side. Don't worry about the other side. And actually, you know what? Yeah, it's okay. Let's select everything, but you're gonna have to mirror it anyway, because it's not equal at the moment. So something like this would do. So Shift D and P to its own selection, and we're gonna get something like this. So let's mirror it across. Let's remove the bevel. Actually, let's keep the bevel for now. Let's add a mirror modifier, and let's copy this on across this object, so on Y, and flip it across this one, right? Okay. Now we're gonna add solidify. So add solidify modifier, which will need to go much higher in stack. So above everything, literally. And we're going to solidify it outside like this, okay? Now let's see. Actually, no, not outside, inside, I would imagine. Now the idea is to have this wrapping go inside of the mesh. To be able to do that, what we need to do is actually secure these edges. So select these two loops, right? And Control B them first, okay? Then we're gonna grab these, okay? We're gonna mirror it later, and then Shift S Z. So we're gonna scale them on all axes except Z. And then let's move this closer, but we got some problem in here. Let me see this. Let's grab the, move the origin point to geometry. There we go. That was a problem. So S, Shift Z. Huh, still doing the same thing. Fascinating. Let's apply scale. Let's try it again. Shift. Okay, fine. S, Y. So we're gonna scale it on Y axis. S, Y. And then we're gonna move it on X this way. We can do it manually, it's not a problem. So now we got overshooting verts, yeah? So we need to, take care of this, okay? So we can grab this edge and dissolve it. And then grab this edge again and split it. And grab this edge and simply SY, scale it in. Like this, okay? That worked. And we need to remove it from here. So just remove it. Dissolve edges. Dissolve edges. And it should work. Dissolve edges. And dissolve edge here. So dissolve edges. Whoops, not what I meant. Here. Okay, perfect. And let's move this one back. So GG. Now let's see how we're looking. We're looking okay. There's a pinching in here though. Let me see. GG. Let's relax this. There's too many verts at once in here. GG, move it outside here. And GZ and move it down to relax it. See if it's gonna help. Helps a little bit, but this is causing a problem. So let's add a loop in here. This is gonna right. Let's see. How about if we're gonna merge them? It kind of solves the problem. Remove this one. We can't. Fascinating. Combine it in here. Problem solved. Okay, so now we got this open, I mean not opening, but like an indentation, you see. And by the way, what we need to do is actually apply the mirror. And we need to fix this aftermath here, which is this middle edge. So let's remove these edges. Can we actually do that? Remove the edges, so dissolve them, and we should be good. Now we can actually scale this one properly. So move it inside here, and instead of solidifying it outside, we're gonna solidify it inside. Okay, like this, and then actually scale it out. So SY, scale it a little bit on Y-axis, and let's see. And yes, we need to fix it here as well. So let's grab these verts, okay, here, and let's move them outside here. All right, just to be a little bit thicker than, you know, than the gun itself. I mean, the handle itself. And now what we need to do is simply run edges here to, you know, define this wrapping a little bit. Okay. Doesn't have to be super defined, but this is actually too sharp in my opinion. So we're gonna ease off here. Okay, so GX, and can we do that? We need to do it one by one. GG and GG, something like this. Okay. How are we looking? There is some weird shading issue in here. I'm not surprised. This is not a good shading. Well, let me dissolve this one and see how we're looking. That's much better, I think. But there is no support in here, and that's what worries me. So maybe we could actually run a subdivision here and connect these two and see if it's gonna help a little bit. GG, move it up. There we go. So we patched this, okay? Now we have this nice wrapping on the handle. Could be a little bit narrower, so SY, and you know, you can sink it in a little bit. Cool. We can add some bolts later. Now, we need to fix this one in here as well. So let's go to side view. And let's grab, actually let's grab these and move them outside just a little. Hold shift to make it a little bit more precise, and everything should look peachy. Looking good. Is looking good. So I got this nice hand wrap in here. Now I want to create some visual interest in this area, so let's see if we can run some. We still need to run a mirror in here because we forgot about that. So let's actually apply this mirror. There we go. And now I still want to run something in this area. So let me see. Go here and duplicate this. Okay, this piece. Go to a local mode. Grab a cube. 1, 2. Move it here. Slash it. Delete this. And we're done. So now we can actually move this boolean above and apply it. And now this is what we need, this part, okay? The external part. So we can select this one, Control I to invert it, X and dissolve faces or delete faces, right? So now we're left with this shell, apply scaling, come back. Now we can actually add solidify to it, move it on the top, and let's apply it outside, right? Like this, and even thickness for sure. Okay, we can slice it. So what we're gonna do is grab another cube, and 1, 2, and let's just slice it here. So Control slash, and let's make sure that it's more or less in the middle. Doesn't have to be super precise, but more or less. And again, let's move this boolean to the top and apply it. We got some data problems, so let's clean it on this mesh, I suppose. Yep. And let's see. Wait a minute. Why? Oh, I'm in the wrong tab. I was thinking, where on earth are my modifiers? And where's my boolean? Here. Apply this. Okay. So we can grab another cube and 1, 2. So it's at the angle, and we can have some fun. So let's make it smaller because it's just huge. And by the way, let's remove these two because it's just confusing. And let's apply scale traditionally and apply like a edge loop cut, and let's subdivide it, and then let's subdivide this one. It's easier to actually do it on both sides at the same time, the mirror, so it's just faster. So again, let's combine these, Shift 1, grab these, Shift Control B, and split them like this, and then grab these two edges, these two verts, and merge them with J, and these as well. Grab this face, and we can simply, so I can just simply move it, the way we want, like this. We can move it with G and Shift. We're in orthographic mode, so it's okay. Let's make it a bit smaller and maybe narrower. So this is gonna become shallow, like this, and apply scale, and simply slice it, Control minus. But do we like it though? Maybe actually applying it in here with Control slash would be a better idea. So select this and this, and Control slash, and let's remove this one, and let's see. And now let's apply another cube. 1, 2, and move it in here and slice it. Okay. And this one is too long, so Shift D and slice it. It's gonna be like some kind of a support bracer for the magazine, and maybe you could add some add-ons to it, or maybe strap something to the rifle. We can add some kind of a mechanism, or like a hatch, or not hatch, like a clamp or something. Just adds a bit of a visual interest. There's one more boolean here that's somewhere in the bottom. There we go. Let's grab these two and move them to cutters. Okay, actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind actually grabbing two more cuts in here. So let's make this cube really small and smaller and narrower and smaller. And with control, you can snap it on the top of a surface. 1, 2, and then Shift D and ZZ, or actually, is it Y? Yeah, it's Y. My bad. So YY and GY to move it in and slash it. And then let's move these two somewhere here. And let's grab these edges. So Shift D, not Shift D, that's my bad. I meant Shift G and direction. So selects all the edges. Control B, we need to apply a scale. And again, edge mode, Control B, and bevel it a little bit. And there we go. That's nice. So let's move these booleans, both of them, right, to the top, okay? All right, nice. We got some bevel breaking in here, but this is reason if I drop the solidification on, right? So let's just apply it in solid mode, right? See what's happening, these lines. Bevel just gets pulled. So normally what I would do is simply run edge here. So let's revert back to where we have solidification on, because it's gonna be easier to fix it this way, and simply run an edge here like this, okay? Doesn't have to be straight, as long as it goes through this boolean, all right? And then you simply remove these two edges. They pull these bevels in a nasty way. So like I said, having angles like this going into bevels, as you can see, it's an extremely bad idea and awful practice too. So now that I apply solidify, everything is clean, you see. You can't have steep angles going into your bevels. It just looks awful. Oh, that's pretty cool, I like it. Just add a bit of visual drama over there. Now this magazine needs some bevels, so we can add bevels here. And let's add segments, 3 of them, and change to angle. And of course add weighted normals, and we can select all these 3, select this one, control C, and copy modifiers. So all these gonna have copied modifiers from this one, the bevel and mirrors, and not mirrors, weighted normals. You need to make sure for this to work to enable copy attributes add-on. That's an add-on that comes with Blender, okay? That's the Control C command. So make sure it's enabled, otherwise it will not work. So that's important. This one, right, needs one more mechanism in here. So let's go to, this is gonna be tough to cut. We might actually use internal faces for this one. So let's use this one, okay, and Shift D, and then P to its own selection. And then let's try to use this one as a cutter. So extrude it here, and then SX, make it bigger, and GY, insert it in here and make it taller. Now let's see how we're looking, because you see this one is actually slanting, not slanting, but it's angular. So what I want to create here is kind of like pads that actually go into the mesh. GY, and make it narrower like this, okay, and GY, put it in here, something like this. And okay, now what we're gonna do is Shift D and make it a little bit larger, select this and Control minus, okay, and oops, and hide this cutter to cutters. Oh, in a local view. Okay, just H to hide it. Now you see we get this cut inside, yeah, which is cool. But what I want to do is actually bevel these. We need to apply scale, and we need to bevel these. So let's just Shift G and direction, and this should bevel all of them around the mesh. And there's bevel running on this one, right? Yep. For some reason, bevel is not extending to these edges. So let's run it on these edges. Bevel here and bevel here. And now it should be okay. Let's see if we don't have any flipped normals in here, because it could be face orientation is fine. Okay, fine. So now what we need is weighted normals, because I don't think we have it here. No, we don't. And this will straighten things up. So now let's see this. It's pretty cool, but it's too wide. So SX and just simply scale it like this, you know. And we could actually angle it properly. So what we're gonna do is go to this occlude function, select the top and GX and skew it a bit. Oops, we need to deselect the bottom ones. So again, GX, and we're gonna skew it a little bit, you see? So it's gonna fit the flow. So what are these? These are the jaws that actually sort of clamp the clamp on the gun, right? So that's how it works. In fact, this could be a little bit wider. So SY, make it a teensy weensy bit wider, okay. GZ, something like this, and these maybe could be thicker, right? I don't really want them to go into the mesh, so let's grab this face and then GG and move it. Will it work? It will, I think. See, I want it to be on the mesh, but not in the mesh, because otherwise it will make no sense. Okay, perfect. So that's how the gun is being, I mean, the tripod, how it mounts onto this. Now this part will need some attention too, but we can do it in next video. So in next video, actually, no, we're not gonna be doing the tripod. What we're gonna be doing is actually the scope. I want to move on to the scope. Okay, I'll catch you guys in the next video.